It's always nice to have an early day off of work, especially when that early day happens on a Friday. Maybe not quite as sunny and warm as I would hope it would be, but that's okay. It's Friday, so we're still happy. Just on our way to a destination. Well, welcome to the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. You can see the Minnesota State Fair water tower in the background. You can see the band shell set up over here. That's one of them, one of a few different ones. And all sorts of areas for festivities and activities. It's not very crowded right now. I got here a little bit early just to avoid the rush. Get a good parking spot. Starts about the third week of August, so we're going to be sitting here for a little while, but that's okay. We packed a lunch. But seriously, you couldn't even park anywhere close to this when it's actually going on. And so it's kind of a surreal experience actually driving down these streets. It's actually kind of like a ghost town right now. Look at those cool cars over here. Wow. Always something interesting, even if there's anyone here or not. Looks like all of these cars are kind of in a state of disrepair, or a state of being repaired, as the case may be, but look at this one. I am not sure what that is, so if you know, leave a comment below. Well, it is cloudy and a little bit chilly out today, but it is Friday, and therefore a beautiful day for an adventure here on Tommy Travels the Second. And we are at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds today. We were going to come to a certain location for an adventure at the Minnesota Newspaper Museum, but apparently that's only open during the state fair. It doesn't say that on the website, but that's okay. As long as we're down here, I thought we would check out some things that are pretty hard to get to while the fair is going on, with the sea of people that is usually behind me. There's nobody, not a living soul in sight, except for that car that just drove by. So if you guys are brand new to this channel, go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on a thing. And this should be fun, you guys, so come on with me, let's go see what there is to see. This is the spot where I normally enter the state fair on years that I come and visit. There's the education building right there. Home improvement. There's a University of Minnesota Center over there, but this is what I really get a kick out of. Fireside Hearth and Home. And that little door is open and you can see fireplaces on the inside, and it just cracks me up because it's usually about 95 or 100 degrees outside. Kind of tough to want to go in and look at fireplaces, but there it is. And the state fair is always a good place to find some wood carvings. These kind of carvings are usually done with chainsaws, and it's just mesmerizing to watch those guys work. It's just really cool, and the detail that they get into these pieces. Looks like we have a chef who is very happy with what he just cooked up, I think. I think he made some tasty food for everyone to enjoy today. He's pretty proud of himself. Good job there, chef. And look at this. The Minnesota State Fair even has a butterfly house. It's adorned with a caterpillar and butterflies there on the corners, and even this cool mural. Alive! Alive butterflies. I'm pretty sure this is an enclosure for butterflies where you can go and visit them and live amongst them for a little short while. That looks quite fun. I've never been in this building before, but if I go to the State Fair this year, I'll have to definitely check it out. And here's the front entrance to the butterfly house. And it says that monarch caterpillars are sold here. So you can get a caterpillar and nurture it until it becomes a butterfly. And they even have a caterpillar kingdom here. And look at this guy. He must be the king of the caterpillars, sitting high atop his throne. I don't know who's supposed to sit down there, but he is looking like a very proud king up there. And we saw that little pavilion when we came out, but this is the granddaddy, the big grandstand. Those are the seats up in there. We can't really see the staging area from where we're at, but it holds a lot of people. So that's where all of the big acts come. As far as the national, if Garth Brooks were to play here or something, this is the stage that he would be playing on right here, and draws a lot of people. There's another look at the grandstand, and of course, what state fair would be complete without the local radio stations broadcasting live with their new morning fun? Crisco, Des, and Ryan on KS 95 FM, where it's always 95 and sunny, broadcasting live from the Minnesota State Fair. And we're gonna go get something on a stick, because that's funny to talk about. I just broke into a southern accent for some reason. And speaking of food on a stick, you can get yourself some big fat bacon on a stick. It sounds delicious. I think Jim Gaffigan would have a field day with this booth. Well, how can you go wrong? Bacon on a stick? I'll take it. Where's the line? That's a bad Jim Gaffigan impression, but he'd probably say something like that. Oh my gosh, as good as that looks, check this out. This place, it has the world's greatest French fries in the entire world. There's not a better French fry than what you can get right here at the Minnesota State Fair. Who'd have thought? I don't know what kind of judging went on to determine that, but they've got it. It says world's greatest, so they must be the world's greatest. Now, when I visit the Minnesota State Fair, I normally don't get the world's greatest French fries or anything on a stick or food in general, generally because it's 95 degrees out and very, very crowded. Like, this whole street would be just, you wouldn't even be able to see the other side of it or walk across the other side of it or even the sidewalk. There would be people all around me right now, surrounding me. It's that crowded on every street. Anywhere you see pavement, you would not see it. And that's why this booth, 1919 draft root beer, love this stuff. It's from New Ulm, Minnesota, and it is amazing. Normally outside of the state fair, I'm an A&W root beer kind of guy, but you can't get this stuff just anywhere at any convenience store or anything, so I love being able to enjoy it here at the state fair. It's one of the reasons I'll show up. And there it is, the giant Space Needle that you can see for miles away from here. If you want to get a bird's eye view of the state fair, you can go right up into there, and then it spins around as well. And this is probably one of the most popular meeting places at the state fair because everyone knows where it is, and if you're not sure, you can always see it. Meet me by the Space Needle. Well, I'm sure there's a few others as well, like the grandstand, but this is a good meeting spot right there. And across the street from the Space Needle is the Beer Garden building, which is all shut down, but inside they have karaoke and all sorts of little beer and restaurants inside. And what I like is this sign right here, greetings from Minnesota. And everything about this sign screams Minnesota. And if you look closer, it's got Paul Bunyan and the Ox, the State Capitol building, which we just saw the State Capitol building this week. It's got a Timberwolf, Minnesota Timberwolves, a loon, Minnesota State bird. Look at that, Prince's guitar. The Cherry and Spoon, that's a sculpture garden that we have not gone to yet. Absolutely beautiful. And I wasn't sure what this sign was made out of, but it looks like it's a tile sign. Yep, it is. Very colorful and beautiful. I like it a lot. And they even have the ruby red slippers on this sign. Some people don't know that Judy Garland was born in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. And so they have the home that she was born in attached to a museum up there. If you haven't seen that adventure, it's on my main channel, Tommy Travels. You should check it out. It's a pretty fascinating place. And so we all know this guitar represents Prince, who we all know is from Minnesota, but who does this harmonica represent? Do, 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 do. I'm not going to go through that whole thing, but that's right, it's Bob Dylan. Good answer. And do they have a sky ride here at the Minnesota State Fair? Why, yes they do. And you can just ride it all the way across the State Fair. There's the grandstand kind of right there, that's that building, so you can get a look at whatever act is playing on the stage and get a bird's eye view all the way across. And this is the food building right here. I'm going to give you kind of a 360 to give you an idea of how expansive this place is. There's the grandstand. It says that the Minnesota State Fair this year goes from August 22nd through September 2nd. And it goes all the way down there, ye old mill. And then over here is the agriculture building. And as I said, there's a lot of wood carvings, and look at this one. We have an Indian here, and all the details are very impressive. It looks like he's holding some corn, and look at this pumpkin that he has at his feet. That is a nice touch. Well done, whoever came up with this. Well done. Whoa, look at this car. That is all decked out. Right in front of the agriculture building, I noticed this Japanese garden that they have set up. Well, not quite set up. The snow is just melting off of it, but very soon, in the springtime, this is going to be quite an amazing sight to see. And I think my favorite part about it, a wood carving Statue of Liberty. We keep running into statues of liberty on my travels, but that's my first one I think that I've seen that's been wood carving like that, and that is amazing. There's the administration building of the State Fair, and if you need tickets, just look for this guy. You can buy them from Minnesota's favorite rodent, the gopher. Same thing our football team is, the Minnesota Golden Gophers college football for the University of Minnesota. That is about the cutest booth you'll ever see right there. And if you're curious about how expansive the Minnesota State Fair is, what we're looking at right here, this building, that is the grandstand. We've just been showing this area right in about here we've been looking at. But if you zoom out, you can see it is quite a bit bigger. Lots more to see. This is Snelling Avenue. It goes all the way down Snelling, Como Avenue, and we're at Dan Patch. This is quite a large, expansive place that I could never show in one video. And in front of the administration building, they've got a few cool little sculptures, like this one right here, a timber wolf howling at the moon. Very Minnesotan and very creative. And this building caught my eye as well, also in front of the administration building. I'm not sure, I don't think these are apartments. Maybe they are, or it's a cute little motel or something. But right in front of it, there's this guy. Hello, sir. Welcome to Tommy Travels the Second. And everywhere you go, there's cute little sidewalks and benches to sit down at. And look at this cute little guy right in front of the J.V. Bailey House. And I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'm gonna have to do some research, because look at this expansive greenhouse that they have in back. It goes all the way back there. That might be something to see on a future adventure if it's open to the public at all. And what a cute little yellow house also. I like that a lot. Well, I didn't have to go far to do some research. This is the house of the Minnesota State Fair Foundation, the J.V. Bailey House. And it's a nonprofit that supports improvements to state fair buildings, the fairgrounds, and educational programs. And friends of the Fair make tax-deductible annual contributions and plan gifts through their estates to help preserve this Minnesota tradition for future generations. Very cool. And bulls seem to be a theme around here because look at this guy. A purple spotted bull. Something you definitely do not see every day. And I'm just noticing that some people who wanted to donate to the Minnesota State Fair Foundation did so by purchasing these bricks and putting whatever saying they want, like this one. Good times shall be had by all at the great Minnesota get-together. K. Mitchell. Well said, K. Mitchell. Well said. Well, you guys, this has been another successful adventure here today on Tommy Travels the Second. We've been taking a look around the Minnesota State Fairgrounds and seeing some of the attractions that they have available here when it's running in August. This place is absolutely fascinating and cool, but very crowded, so it's kind of nice that it's deserted here today. And if you guys liked what you saw, go ahead and hit like on my YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit subscribe and the little bell notification next to it so you can be the first to know when a new adventure comes out. And thank you guys so much for the support that you've given me so far. And until next time, I hope to catch you on the flip side.